Hey y'all! Well, we're here for another speaker unboxing. And y'all are probably going, what in the world is Skunkie doing buying all these speakers? And something I've been pretty lax on. You've seen me doing all kinds of amplifier content, and I've been using the same pair of speakers from the start of this channel. Some RP600Ms. And one of the things that I'm discovering in my journey is that synergy is one of the key things to getting good audio. And speakers that might work fantastic with one amplifier, and even specifically certain types of music, may not be the perfect setup for other stuff. And it's fun to try to come up with several different kind of matched sets of stuff that work well together. I've got this R8 40 something watt push-pull amp that I've never really been crazy about, and I think part of the reason is that the speakers that I'm using aren't really designed for working with that kind of amplifier. And I'm using the amplifier outside of its middle range of power, where it's the most efficient and where it's going to sound the best. And at this point, I'm not going to apologize to anyone about saying that this 300B amp with my RP600M and the way everything's tuned, and the tubes that I've got with the phono cartridge, the phono stage, the step-up transformers I'm using, even down to the speaker cables, has turned into synergetic heaven, I'm going to call it, because it just sounds fantastic. In just about any kind of music that I put on it, especially jazz, horns, female vocals, jazzy male vocals, any of that kind of stuff, just sounds fantastic. But when I want to listen to some really dynamic rock and roll music like the B-52s or, Led Zeppelin or whatever, it just doesn't really have it. And that's where I think pairing like my R8 to these JBLs and getting that whole setup dialed in may be the synergy that makes that setup sing. So anyway, one of the viewers suggested these speakers. And I know a bunch of you guys were saying, go get the MoFi 8 or go get these Zoo somethings. And I went and looked at all those speakers, and a lot of these speakers y'all were recommended were like big tower speakers, and that's not how I want to set up my room. And I'm going to make some changes to my setup, kind of where my little stereo center is. I was talking with a friend of mine today, and we came up with some good ideas, but that's for another video. But these little fine audio speakers looked very interesting. So let's open this box up and let me show you what I got. So I bought these from an audio dealer who said that these are in like new condition, and they tested them out before they mailed them, and so they're in the original boxes, and it was half the price of what the new version is. And since I spent so much money getting the latest JBLs, I thought, hey, let's get some used ones for my second setup. And like I said, these look like some really kind of unique design speakers. And F500. And let me go ahead and get the other one out too. So here's what these little guys look like. These are 6.5-inch drivers, and they have a concentric tweeter, just like that MoFi 8 type speaker has, where the tweeter's in the center of the driver, and it's using the woofer cone as the waveguide for the tweeter. The interesting thing is this little grill around the bottom. It's got a downward facing bass port with a little cone that spreads the bass out in 360 degrees. And I just thought that was a really unique thing. It sends, like I said, the bass out in all directions, so we are getting a little bass reinforcement from the little alcove that the speakers sit in, but it also goes out to the front the reviews I've read, people are really excited the way these sound. You don't have that issue with the phase alignment or the speaker alignment because they're all on the same concentric driver, which I think that's kind of the key to why those MoFi speakers sound as good as they do. And like I said, I would have never thought of even looking for these speakers if one of you viewers hadn't mentioned them. And so I think just one person mentioned looking at fine audio stuff, and I never even knew of the brand, but these are the perfect size. They should be really efficient, and I think they'll be something different from the RP600M experience, but still fit that kind of genre of speaker that works well with low-power tube amps. So, yeah, this is the second unboxing of the week, and I think these are going to be fun. Like I said, this is a used pair, but to me they look new, and the place I got them from guaranteed them and said, yeah, we tested them, they work fine. The owner of these took advantage of their trade-in program and was upgrading or buying some tower speakers or something, and had these for about a year. And so, yeah, I thought it was a good deal at half price. So I pulled the trigger on them, and I really like the finish of them. I think they're really good looking speakers, and they look nice with the grills off of them. I'm probably not going to run these with grills unless they just sound better with the grills, which occasionally some speakers do, but they usually don't. And they didn't seem especially attractive with the grills, so that's not something I'm jumping up and down to put on them. But so here we are, and pretty sure none of y'all are going to guess that these were my second speakers. And the other thing I wanted to cover is I don't understand this whole mentality of people getting so angry about this audio stuff. I've had about 5 people email me just really snotty, nasty emails because I didn't pick their choice. And they were like, oh, those JBL speakers are garbage and you're an idiot for buying those. Why send somebody an email like that because I didn't pick your MoFi 8 or your Zoo Audio pet speaker that you own? It just, I guess some people I'll just never understand, and I try to ignore them. One guy sent a response to, it's like, thanks for helping me enjoy my new speakers, but it's just, I just don't get it. So anyway, I do have a couple of more speakers that we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to jump over to our next pair that we're going to be looking at. So here we have mystery speaker number 2, and you're probably going, hey, what are these? They don't have any name on them, and that's because empty box. These are from Parts Express, and these are some two-way little cabinets that are pre-built, that are uber cheap. I'll put the price up here. And they were super nice. There was some confusion. They thought I hadn't checked out, but I had. They sent me some coupon for, hey, if you'll go ahead and pay for your thing, we'll give you $10 off. Well, I'd already paid for them. And so I emailed them kind of as a joke, just saying, hey, yeah, this discount's really nice, but I've already bought these and they're on the way. And they replied to me, said, hey, we're happy to give you the coupon price and we'll refund you $10. So it was like, cool. I mean, that's good service. And again, I was just kind of joking, but hey, I'll take the $10, right? So anyway, they got rear base port, obviously a two-way cabinet, but what made me buy these, and another viewer sent me a review that somebody bought these to put some full range drivers in, and they just blocked off the tweeter hole. And I thought, hey, as cheap as these are, this might be a good way to test out my little Lysong full range drivers. And I built some bigger boxes for these that some plans that were on their website that were actually for a different speaker, which, well, they actually mailed me a pair of these too in the same box as these. I don't know if it was an order mistake or whatever, but I've tried both of these in that bigger box that a woodworking friend of mine built, and they still didn't have good bass. It was a front-ported, slotted deal. So I'm thinking, hey, if they're not going to have any bass, and we're just going to be using them as mids and tweeter, or, you know, that full part of the full range from like 100 hertz and up, and going to use a subwoofer, might as well just use a lot smaller box and see what these do. And so I've got to open this hole up just a little bit. These don't quite fit. And then I got to come up with a plug to put up here in this top one. And just for looks, I may just stick a tweeter in there and just not have it hooked up, just so it looks more normal. And then see what these little full range guys do. So that's another little thing we're going to be playing with, is just a no crossover full range speaker, and see what that sounds like. And then I'm also gluing up the cabinets to build those MTM Parts Express speakers that I'd bought, God, probably a year ago or more, and they've just been sitting upstairs. And yeah, I'm just kind of on this whole little speaker kick. And I will say I did take a quick listen to those little fine audios, hooked them up to my 300B amp, and they sound really good. I think those are definitely already a winner without having to do anything. And so we'll do a review, or a full review, on those speakers after I get some more time with them, where I can kind of figure out the nuances and do some A/B with the RP600Ms versus these fine audios, and kind of see what the differences are, and be able to do a, like I said, a full review comparison of those two speakers. But I can already tell that those are definitely a keeper, and they're going to work perfectly fine with single-ended triodes and, you know, EL34s and all that kind of stuff. They're going to, could be a direct replacement for my RP600Ms, which is kind of what I was looking for in this. And yeah, we may end up doing multiple kind of setups, and who knows, maybe those JBLs just don't work out and I send them back and try something else. But just, this is kind of fun to do something different on the channel and kind of dive into some of the speaker stuff as well as some of the solid state stuff. So if you're enjoying this content, leave a comment below if you like seeing me kind of venture off into stuff other than just tubes. And I don't really want to get into speaker design per se. That's such a deep rabbit hole, and my brain's kind of full of tube. And so I think I'm going to really stick with designing and working with tube circuits. But it will be fun just kind of playing around with some of these DIY speakers and stuff. And there are some other DIY speakers out there that I consider building, so that may be on the horizon too. Again, leave a comment below if you're liking this kind of venturing off content. If you're enjoying this channel, please subscribe. Please like the video. Thanks to all you Patreon folks and folks that make donations to my website, especially when you leave a little note saying, hey, I really like this content, and throw me a little tip that kind of says, hey, people must really like this, and let's do some more of that. So anyway, till the next video, have a nice day.